Hey guys, today's problem solving day here on the farm. Getting set up, but it seems like getting water to chickens is always that nightmare. You've got to go in, you've got to get it, they spill it, it leaks. There doesn't seem to be a good water on the market. Here's a couple we tried. If you have chickens, you're familiar with these. We tried the fount. These notoriously leak through the seals. This one just simply cracked due to the North Carolina heat. I don't know if you can see it, but it just simply cracked. But typically, the seals inside of these leak and the water just runs out. And there's the other water. Didn't work much better than the last one. Doesn't hold enough water, tends to come apart at the bottom. So I've got a solution for this. Okay, so let's get down to fixing this water. Any of you all that have chickens will find this to be one of the better ways. Now, I don't recommend it in the cold northern climates through the winter, but 8-9 months out of the year, even in those climates, this is the best way to get water to your chickens. So let's look at the parts. Okay, so we'll take this PVC, and as you'll see, we'll put a 5-gallon water jug from a water cooler right on top of this, so it makes it clear and easy to see when your chickens run out of water. So what we did is we took a 4-inch to 3-inch reducer, a 3-inch piece of pipe, went 2-inch to 1.5 inch, 1.5 to 1/2 inch. We'll put an elbow on there. We'll use some 1/2-inch pipe. Get these handy fittings. They come with the kit for these chicken founts. When you move the yellow thing, water fills the bowl. The chickens pick up on us quickly. We used these on our homestead in West Virginia and had tremendous success with them. So this just simply threads onto the fount, and then this will cut pipe. It'll mount, and we'll have readily clean drinking water available for the chickens at all times. So let's get busy building this thing. I'm gonna gather up some tools. We're gonna get started on this project right away. My building, like everyone else's, suffers from, it's a disaster, and I don't know how to make that better. Before we get started on this build, I want to say if you're working on a homestead and you're working on projects remotely, I'm a huge fan of the Ryobi 1. With the 4-amp-hour batteries, these things are a workhorse. They work all day long. You don't have to run cords, you won't need generators. It takes about 30 minutes to fully charge a 4-amp-hour battery, and it'll run for hours. So if you aren't already using the Ryobi sets, get some. They make a tool for everything. I have grinders, blowers, saws, drills, sanders, lights, you name it. All go on the same battery. Let me get a few more tools and let's roll. Okay, this isn't precision work. The first thing we need to do is make a base that's strong enough to support a 5-gallon jug of water. No need to really measure. The whole point is we'll put legs down off of this, and then we'll cut a hole through this for this to mount. Ryobi 1. Get you some. Okay. Just kind of center this, and we will mark a circle. Okay. All we got to do is take a drill a hole in this, and take our jigsaw and cut it out. Okay. We got the cut made in the board. Just took a jigsaw and cut it out. So we want this to fit tight. And there we go. Now we'll put the 5-gallon water cooler jug right on top of this. So the next step is going to be to determine the leg length, because we want it to have enough support to hold 5 gallons of water. So let's move over here and measure some things off. Okay, we're going to mount this here on the corner of the building. Let's see. Now here's what we need to figure out is what the length of our legs need to be. Next we'll cut some legs and mount those on. So we'll hold this into position. We're going to do one other step. It appears that this is hitting the sidewall. So we need to have enough room for a 5-gallon water jug to sit. So I'm going to go get a jug and we'll measure that. Okay, so the jug's got to fit here, and this has got to come out. So I think what we'll do is we'll make it freestanding, and then we'll put a mount here to hold it into place. A little different in the barn in West Virginia, so it just requires a little engineering. All right, so we determined that the legs are going to be 32 inches long. So we just need to cut a pair of legs 32 inches. I don't know if I mentioned it or not yet, but that Ryobi saw will cut all day long. And this wood is wet because we took it out of a scrap pile for use on this project. So the saw is working a little harder than it would in nice clean dry wood. And the blade's about shot, but it still cuts. Okay, let's get some screws. Okay, we're going to use a 3.5 inch star head screw. I don't know if you can see it. And we'll use this bit. These are weatherproof, so they won't rust out in the rain. Let's see. Once again, we're watering chickens, so if this doesn't turn out perfect, it's fine. We're not building a house. One leg. Let's get the other one on. I'll show you how we plan to make it stand up where it should. that in gear too. You know, I was a big purchaser of DeWalt tools, and so I started using the Ryobi, and the Ryobi holds up as well for me. And then I build a lot of things. Okay, now we got the legs on. Let's move this thing over into place. Okay, as you can see, we're gonna set it about right here. As you can see, that's what we're gonna water the chickens off of. Then we'll pipe this down to those. First thing we need to do though is build a brace on here and set it, and then we'll tie legs onto this, which will make it freestanding. So let's get a measurement. Come on, Daddy. So we need to cut us a board. It's 13.5 inches in there. These are 1.5 inches thick, so take 3 inches off. So 10.5 inches. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll cut some boards. So let me go cut that real quick. Okay, we got that piece cut. Now, we know where we're going to put it. Don't really need a level because we're going to be up against this building. So we'll consider it hand grenades. Close counts and horseshoes and hand grenades. Not large. Okay, now what we need to do is figure out how far from the building it is. If I carry all of my tools with me, I wouldn't have to make so many trips. Okay. Right there. So what we need to do is cut a couple cross braces to hold it that length. We'll say, we'll go 11 inches on them, and it'll put it out from the building just a little bit. All right, let's get those cut. Okay. Now I've got a 14-year-old granddaughter that likes to feed and water chickens. She doesn't always like to go in there to water the chickens. So we're going to solve that problem today. Get this screw started. Homesteading is a blast. I want to show more of our homestead in this series instead of just all diet and exercise. Because part of healthy living is knowing where you get your food. We're sitting on 6 acres here, 8 minutes from the beach in North Carolina, where it's December and I'm sweating putting together a chicken water. Not that we don't get cold days. We had a 22-degree morning the other morning, but it was 70 degrees before the day ended. All right, and this is so simple that a do-it-yourselfer could manage this every time. That will more than hold that 5-gallon water. So let's put a couple more screws in it, and then we'll get down to where we start cutting pipe. And remember, when you're homesteading, don't throw anything away. Keep your old lumber. That way you can keep working on projects. There's some leftover treated lumber we got. Oops. Like I say, if I die doing this, let my wife know I loved her. Okay. Sit there just fine. So, I've cut a piece of the 3-inch PVC to 12 inches. So I'll glue some fittings together. And what we'll do is we'll reduce this from 3-inch to 1/2 inch, because all the little nipples are 1/2 inch. So once we turn, we'll go in, we'll turn, we'll come out, and then we'll run down this board that's inside the kennel or the chicken coop, and probably put 4 waters. I've got 18. When we use those in West Virginia, after they went 6 months, or if they froze a little bit, the O-ring would go bad. And since they thread on easily, if you have extras, you can just switch them out until you get them rebuilt. So let's cut some more PVC and start gluing. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. Just in case you're wanting to duplicate this for your chickens. This is a 4-inch to 3-inch PVC adapter. 3-inch pipe. You'll have to cut to length. That'll go in. Like I said, it fits tight. Then on the bottom of this, we'll put because you can't just go, it appears when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, you can't buy everything. So this is a 3-inch to 2-inch, 2-inch to 1/2 inch, or actually 2-inch to 1-inch, and then a 1-inch to 1/2 inch reducer. So you kind of have all this put together to do its thing. So let's glue. Use a little bit of primer. Clean everything up real good. Because this is not pressure, we're not going to have any pressure at all on this pipe. So if we get it relatively clean, primed, and glued, we should never have a problem out of this. And if you have chickens, you know if there is a problem, the chickens are going to let you know faster than anything. Because a chicken runs out of food or water, they're loud. Alrighty. A little bit of this PVC glue. Use a liberal amount of glue. Argument, I put a little glue on both sides. And the trick when you're working with PVC, get it together all the way right off the bat. And if you can, turn it a little bit, and that just kind of melts that glue right in. All right, so that's together. Okay, so now that's all glued together. Now we'll get some cutters and we'll cut some 1/2 inch pipe and get it run in. Okay. PVC cutters. If you haven't used them before, let me tell you, I just need a piece to do an elbow. You don't have to cut. And there you go. In to try to get everything right in line with that board so that we can mount these. I won't bore you with every step of the way. After we get done with the chicken water project, I'll kind of show you around the farm and show you what we're doing here and trying to get set up. We had some damage due to a hurricane, so our greenhouse got damaged pretty badly. It was a Harbor Freight 10 by 12. Just a hurricane was a little more than it could handle. This spring we're going to put up a Farmer's Friend 50 by 14 caterpillar tunnel with a high-rise kit, so we can grow crops inside, shade cloth on it. I'll walk you along on that project. But here in a little bit, I'll take you and show you around the farm. Let me get this pipe run out where I need to, and then I'll show you where we're at. Okay, I've cut a bunch of pieces of pipe 8 inches long. What these are is this is going to go from the last elbow along the board we put in, and then each of these will connect 8 inches apart. I'm decided I'm going to put 4 in. But what we want to do before we go into the chicken coop with the crazy chickens, because they may eat us, is go ahead and thread these cups. As you can see, cup, I don't know how well you can see it, but it comes with a rubber seal, so there's no need for any Teflon tape. But you want to go ahead and thread these into the fittings, and you have to buy these fittings separately if you buy the cups. A few suppliers will send the fittings with the cup, but you usually have to buy them separately. So, and you won't find this at Home Depot or Lowe's because it's very specific to this application. It's just a 1/2 inch, and it's got a threaded section in the end so that you can put the cup on. Pretty much make sure you get the cups level. You need to snug them, but you don't need to torque them to death. And I've already gone ahead and cleaned all these fittings so that we're ready. Once we go in, we can pretty much run wide open with these. So I'll get 4 of these threaded up. And then the chickens are going to be some happy chickens because they're going to have water. That big fountain broke, and that would hold them out for a day, day and a half. The small one, you have to give water twice a day. Very humid, very hot here in coastal North Carolina. They drink a lot more water here than they did in West Virginia. Get one more put together here and we're ready to go. And we'll go in the coop and start making the final connections. All right. All look good to me. Next step is very important. So let's go in here and get started. Now the chickens will not cooperate. They're going to be all over me. They want to know what we're doing. They're like puppies. Get out of that. You eat one of them screws and you're screwed. Alright. First thing, we get an 8-inch section of pipe glued on like this. Remember, put it in, twist it. Then we get one of our founts, glue both sides of our pipe. And we'll put that on. And this is another one of those, you want to make sure you got this right, because once that glue sets, there'll be nothing you can do. And we'll just keep going. Get out of the glue. Get. out of the glue. Get out of the glue. Yeah. I have to eat that egg that you put out. Yep, this is what it's all about. Fresh meat, fresh eggs. And Eddie, I'm okay, buddy. Is there any bad guys? We're going into this. Get out of here, chicken. Now you can always add more of these later if you decide that you don't have enough. We're going to put a cap on the end to stop the water flow. So leave a little bit extra there, and you can always cut it off and throw another one on. All right. In fact, I think I'll throw a fifth one. Get, chicken, get out of that glue. That glue is no good for you. All right, let's put a couple screws in this. Get out of there, chicken. Come on. Wait for them by the door. They'll eat anything. We'll try to. Back away from the door. Alright, these clamps I just picked up in the electrical systems at, they're just a strap clamp. You're like little children. And that'll just kind of strap that on there so that it's not flopping as badly. And put another one on. And I'll leave it run a little bit on the downhill side so that if I need to drain this for some reason, I can cut the cap off the end. I probably should just put a valve at the end, but I never remembered that until after the fact. All right. Okay. I am going to leave this at 4 for now. See how they do, because I'd like to reserve as many of them as I can in case there's a failure. All right, let me get my cap. Guys, in a minute, you'll have all the water you want. Okay, that's that. Move. That dog will eat you. All right, let's go fill this up with water and see how well it works. Okay. Okay, we've got the water in the jug. We'll go in here if we can get past Eddie. Eddie's the greatest farm dog ever. All right, let's go in here and see what we got. Okay, here they are. They're plumbed up and they go out to the water jug. Got water in that one. And if we move this, you'll see the water come. It might take them a while to figure it out. Okay. Let's see. So there you have it. We've got the chicken waters complete. The chickens seem pretty happy. Yeah, so I got this thing. It's a mealworm treat for the chickens. I thought I'd try. See what they think of it. Let's just take this in and see what the chickens do. Hopefully they go crazy because I paid like $5 for this. Great little mealworms and all kinds of grains. This ought to be interesting. Well, they seem to like it okay. They're going at it. I guess that's what chickens eat, is mealworms, and it's gross. Oh, would you look at that? All right, we got eggs. All right, 12 hens, 9 eggs. They just started laying not long ago, so it's the best we can do, man. We're happy. Excuse me, Roo. That's the king rooster. Let's see if we can get him there. Okay, this is the garden area. We fenced this in. It's 100 foot by 100 foot. As you can see, there's the greenhouse. Back there's the chickens we worked with earlier. Got a couple raised beds of special interest, strawberries. We got these started last year, but then Tracy put marigolds in there, and they turned into marigold trees. So the strawberries didn't do as well. We got a good crop of strawberries off of it. In here we had peppers. They've been since frostbit, but trust me, we harvested enough peppers of the cayenne that we won't be looking for peppers for a while. We ground them up into powder and also hot pepper flakes, and then we've got whole. And this is a carrot bed. I want to leave these carrots in for the winter to see if the milder climate here in North Carolina, because a carrot won't seed until its second year. So I want to let these just grow and see if they seed next year. But they were really nice big carrots. As you can see. And we got a lot of them canned in jars. This was the area that we had tilled last year. And I still got to clean up a good amount. But we've got all of this. Now, this on the other side of this fence, back in that area, we're going to get fenced in next year and start putting orchards in with apples, pears, peaches, apricots. I grew some patio oranges this year and ended up getting about 25 oranges. Now this over here is blackberries and raspberries. The blackberries are doing extremely well. But I'll show you later in the field. Down here we have field berries, and they grow really low, and you can pick them by the bucket loads. They're not like a briar bush like we had in West Virginia. These are blueberries. And then over here I built this for Tracy. That's for her to grow her herbs and spices in. I'll probably build a couple more of those next year. Now the greenhouse got itself destroyed in a hurricane. The front part of the storm did fine. In the back part of the storm, we had straps around the greenhouse so it didn't damage the side panels. But the roof, it did fine, like I said in the first part, but you can see it just completely crushed the roof. So I'm going to tear the roof off the greenhouse and put new panels up. And then in here, right through there is where we're going to put up the caterpillar tunnel. This field out here, I'll probably put under plow next year and grow field corn just to feed the livestock, because I think we're going to add a horse for the granddaughter, and we've got the chickens. In West Virginia, we ran Dexter cattle, pigs, turkeys, chickens, you name it, we had it. Sheep, and goats. All right, so that's kind of where we're at right now. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked a quick glimpse at our homestead. Just kind of wanted to show you around. Our homestead in West Virginia was 20 acres. We cut hay on another 100 acres, and that's all we did was cut hay. We ran Dexter cattle, and they were hay burners in the winter. You had deep snows and cold weather. The fields died off earlier. We may get into cattle here. I don't know. If so, it's going to be really small, like one bull, 2 cows, calf them out and raise freezer beef. We're definitely going to do the chickens. My granddaughter wants a horse, so I'll be adding a lean-to style barn with a workshop to the building. So that's a project that's upcoming that I'll put on here as soon as we do. We're working on the patio here. When we first moved in, we quickly put down a couple 12 by 12 ground contact floating decks, so we'd have a place that we could sit, put a picnic table on it. Now we're going to kind of expand that with 16 by 16 pavers that have a real nice stone pattern with a fire pit in the center, because we like to sit around the fire in the evening and just relax. We've got to build another chicken coop, because the one I've got is for those 12 chickens, but we're going to start incubating now that they're laying healthy. Then we'll start doing chickens for the freezer, plus eggs. We'll sell chickens locally here. We'll have both organic and just standard chickens. The organic chickens are far more expensive. I've got to finish the roof on Tracy's woodshed for our fire pit wood. I've still got a couple trees that have to come down, and that all needs to be split and stacked. So there's projects coming that I'm going to put on YouTube, and I hope you subscribe. I hope you enjoy what we do here, and you subscribe to the channel and kind of follow along, because we get into a lot of projects at different times. Some of them are just silly projects. The picnic table I'm going to sand completely and paint it in nice beach colors, and then my granddaughter and daughter are going to paint. They're both talented with artwork, and they're going to paint the entire top of the table with whatever they choose, and we'll clear coat it, and that'll be the family picnic table out back. We're going to build some shade areas, patios. I just bought a cement mixer so I can start putting sidewalks in. So if there's anything you want to know about homesteading, we're probably going to do it here, and just join the channel. We're going to try to have fun. I'll introduce you to Tracy and the family in the next couple videos. Tracy's my wife. She was 15, I was 17 when we met. We've been going on a good number of years, and we've done a lot of things together, but this is challenging, because trust me, growing in North Carolina was different. We started out, we had crops in the ground in February and March. By June, July, it was so hot nobody even wanted to go out of the house. And then we got introduced to these crazy little things called fire ants that will eat you alive. There's alligators in the woods. A guy I work with said that everything in North Carolina, every bug, every living thing was designed to kill you. And I laughed at him. 6 months later, I'm not laughing. It seems like everything here wants to devour you. So stick around, enjoy the channel. We'll be back to do some more cool and exciting things. I hope you enjoyed what we did with the chicken water today. Hit the subscribe button, give me a like, start following the channel, and help us out here. If you got any questions, put them down in the comments, and I'll answer them one by one as they come up. Thanks, I appreciate your time.